One. Hello, and welcome to our Daily Magic, where we talk about magic that we can cultivate in our daily lives. Today, on this special new moon episode, we have Lauren Mazukiewicz, and we'll be talking about something very, very special, very, very dear to her heart, which is about awakening the goddess within. And let's just, get into that, where this title of awakening the divine goddess within comes from. And of course, a little bit about Lauren. So Lauren, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you, Kai. How are you?
I am amazing. Thank you for asking. Now, I'd love to just get right into it. Would you like to tell our listeners who you are and what it is that you do?
Yes, I would. Thank you. First, I want to share this is my first Facebook Live, so a little nervous, a little excited, but I'm excited to share with you guys my story and who I am and where I come from and some of my experiences. So I am a spiritual explorer. I am a student. I am a teacher. I am a world traveler. I am a fierce sister goddess in service to the divine. I am a daughter, a fiance. I am a beloved friend to many. Hi, all my friends. I love you. I am a dancer. I'm an artist. And I am Kundalini. And Kundalini is my yoga brand that I am currently building. With the idea behind it or the thoughts of you are the queen of your queendom, or king of your kingdom. So I have a quote here that really is from Yogi Bhajan that supports this idea of queen of your queendom or king of your kingdom. Yogi Bhajan is the master of Kundalini Yoga, so thank you to him for all the wisdom. The moment that you understand that there is an essence of purity in you, you will realize reality. The moment you realize reality, you will have royalty. And then you don't have to say or do a thing. When your presence will work, you will emit wisdom. So a little bit more about me and my background. I am a makeup and a hair artist, as well as a Kundalini yoga and meditation teacher. I love makeup. Ever since I was a little girl, I used to watch my mom every day in the mirror put on her makeup. Hi, Mom, if you're watching. Oh, wait, this is going to be posted after. I love you. So, Mommy, so it's my inspiration. I used to watch her every day in the mirror. And then one day she threw me in the backseat of the car and with some makeup. And she was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be a disaster. We get to our destination and she looks in the back seat where I'm at, and she was like shocked because I did a really good job. And I was 3 at the time.
Wow.
So, yeah. So I loved makeup. I guess I've been doing makeup ever since I was 3. I've loved it since I was little. But I didn't get into doing professional makeup until my 20s. In my early 20s, cosmetology school. Then I went into a couple different salons doing hair and makeup, and I really decided that the salon life was not for me, and I wanted to go and focus into makeup full time. So I went to work for MAC Cosmetics, and what a great experience. I love MAC Cosmetics, all my MAC girls out there, love you.
Yeah, lip gloss.
Yeah, right? Totally. Lots of good products and really good stuff. I work for MAC and I also freelanced for NARS Cosmetics. So I recently left basically the freelance team, and I wanted to go in a different direction with the makeup. I wanted to really blend spirituality and makeup, going into the yoga and stuff like that. So I'm gonna circle back around to some of that stuff. Let let me see where I'm at. I have notes and I'm nervous, guys.
It's all good.
Okay. 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 So I want to share about the onset of my spiritual path.
Yes, please.
How I got there and what that all means for me, how to even get into all this jazz coming into spirituality. I think that's a really important point to hit on. So I began seeking out spirituality around the age of 26. At this age, I had a really rough breakup with my ex-boyfriend. Grateful for him too. At this point, my ego was crushed. I was 26. I didn't know what was happening or what was happening with my human condition. It was a really interesting time. I hung out with my friend one day, and he could tell like I was really in a funky, wonky area. And so I told him what happened, and we went to Barnes & Noble, and he suggested a couple books for me. And I was like, I'll try anything, because I was like really, really a hot mess. So I know this is like cliche and yet amazing at the same time. So I started reading The Power of Now. And, you know, while it's so widely known today, like I feel like back at that time it wasn't as widely known, because spirituality is really popping off now. But so this book changed my life. I really started to, you know, view the world in a different way. And it started my quest for spirituality. But it wasn't until I started dating my lovely fiance, Anthony, that I basically went to the next level with spirituality. We went on vacation to Hawaii a number of years ago. We stayed at this amazing, amazing place called Lumeria. It was a huge meditation lawn, huge Buddha, walking labyrinth, yoga classes all day long, nutrition. It was just like divine. And at this time, I was a fitness chick. That was my background. Like, I was a gym girl. And I was like, yeah, yoga, shmoga, whatever. You know, it's like I really didn't have any resonation with yoga. But anyway, I was there. So I was like, all these yoga classes, I'm going to check it out. So I decided to go to this class. So I show up in this class, and it was a Kundalini Yoga class. And I really connected so deep inwardly. It was beautiful, but it was also something that I really never experienced before, coming from this fitness background. At the end of the class, let me tell you, before the end of the class, this is the big kaboom right here. So towards the end of the class, as we laid in Savasana, I laid there and my heart blasted open and tears started strolling down my face. And it was as if my human filter was just removed. Like the way that I always saw things was just like taken to the side. And I saw the world in complete awe and like the deepest heart connection of bliss. And I realized that we can always be like this, or pretty close, because guess what? We're human, right? And we're going through the waves and the ups and downs of life. But I spoke to the teacher afterwards, and you know, the first thing she said to me was, I really felt you connect from your throat chakra into your heart. It was beautiful. And I was like, I knew that you knew I was connecting, but I don't know why I knew. I was so confused, because I was like, this is weird. Like, this is like surreal, like in a yoga class. And then she said something to me after that I realized, I found out afterwards that a non-integrated yoga teacher can't deliver these sorts of messages. And so she said to me, she said, you're going to be an amazing teacher one day. And I was like, and I'm still in awe and bliss. My eyes are like this. And I'm like, like, you know, I kind of had this feeling that maybe one day, like I had this feeling like a year ago that I would be a yoga teacher, but I didn't know what that meant. And you know how thoughts come and go like the clouds. So I didn't think of it. I was like, but then it was like hitting me and sitting, and I was in such a connected space. And Anthony came to meet me after the class, and he's basically like looking at me like, what happened? Because I'm like I'm looking around at the world like in awe and bliss, you know. I'm just like, wow, because it was a new filter. It was a new filter I was experiencing. So I told him, I said, I'm going to be a Kundalini teacher. And we went back to that place a year later. And by the time I went back, I was certified as a Kundalini Yoga teacher. So I went to teacher training. I took on the training. I jumped in, and it was better than I could have ever anticipated. So I've been practicing and teaching Kundalini Yoga for about 4 years, but I've still been working in the beauty industry. But something really interesting was happening with my relationship with the beauty industry as my spirituality was developing with the yoga and the Kundalini. I mean, a lot of meditations and a lot of deep cleansings and stuff like that. I was starting to get like disgusted and a little repelled by the beauty industry. I mean, I was working and I was freelancing, and I'm seeing, you know, it's like these posters of picture perfect women and saying like, it was just a focus on being perfect. And you have to have this to look like that. And I felt there was not much room for like a bigger sort of acceptance for our imperfections. Like, there was a focus on perfection. And so I really wanted to find a way to blend the spirituality and the makeup. And I've wanted this for a while. So this will lead us into the development of Goddess Warrior makeup, which we will be doing and exploring and crafting, each one of us, at the Goddess Retreat at the end of the month. So a little bit about this. So I've recently been starting to really play with fun, creative colors, lines all over the face, just being artistic with makeup. And it's been a really good time. So I love doing my makeup for like deep meditations or rituals or ceremonies. And last year I was doing my makeup for a ceremony, and I'm in the mirror and I'm a little pressed for time, and I was like, I want to do some warrior makeup, you know? So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm pressed for time. And I do it, and it's good, and it's awesome. And so whatever, I go into the ritual ceremony, and I do all this healing work around my immediate family, all this prayer work. And I saved my father for the last in prayer work. And I went to the altar, and, you know, I prayed for divine guidance because it's a really big healing process and experience. And I started crying so hard from the core of my soul, like the hardest, deepest cry you can feel in the body and imagine. And it was super painful, and it was super freeing at the same time, really releasing, you know, like a really deep purge. So it was a beautiful experience. And as I'm coming out of this crying experience, I'm basically like grasping for air, and I'm coming out of it. And I kind of like kiddingly say to myself in my mind, like, like, I wonder how my makeup looks right now. You know, I'm like really coming out of it. And then it was a light bulb. There was a light bulb that went off, and it was like, ding. Now that is warrior makeup.
Totally.
So that bled into that came into transition into warrior goddess makeup. And yes. So where am I? So it's really about the Goddess Warrior makeup is about also breaking the constructs of how we're seeing ourselves and looking in the mirror. Especially people that are in the beauty industries and that do a lot of makeup every day and stuff like that. There's so much focus on the perfection. So this is about breaking that construct of how we look, and to be able to sit in our skin, say with makeup all over the face, or smeared from a cry, or just whatever you're feeling in terms of color. So bringing the feeling of something into whatever you feel like creating, and being comfortable in being perfectly imperfect in your makeup.
Nice.
So super excited to bring that to our retreat. It's really been on my mind for a really long time, and it took me a while to get the nugget of how to bring this into fruition. And so my last official, unofficial sort of thing, talent that we will be doing and that I will be offering is dancing.
Nice.
Yeah. I have always loved dancing. But it's recently, I've always loved dancing. It awakens something in me. As for many people, like when you have a good dance, how do you feel? I don't hear anybody say bad. Everybody's like, on fire. But it's only been recently that I've been doing a little bit of a deeper exploration on what dancing can do and how it can serve. So I've been looking at it in a more sacred and reverent way, with intentions. So prior to dance, even setting up this retreat, it's a lot of work, and sometimes I would get in my head or be like, I'm in over the top, and I would be like, you know what? I'm in my head. I'm gonna find an awesome song, and I'm gonna play it right now, and I'm gonna go dance. And what it did for me was it got me back into rhythm of life. It got me back into the natural flow. Dancing for me awakens my innermost goddess spirit. And dancing itself, it awakens all the chakras. So giving us a burst of energy, I love it so much. And it's even been highly recommended by the master of Kundalini Yoga, Yogi Bishan, to dance. He's definitely improved it for us. So it's a different experience. What I realized coming more into dance is that it's a different experience if we're going out with our friends and going clubbing and dancing, opposed to bringing in dance in a sacred way with intention. And so for the event, I've curated a playlist to bring us through the different movements and levels of emotions. So I have been working really hard on this playlist so that we can have somewhat of a dance body journey and experience to allow ourselves to feel, and to go from the bottom, the feeling, going deep, all the way into a super duper high vibrational goddess celebration dance. And that is about me. I feel like I should have said more about Kundalini Yoga, but if I start on Kundalini Yoga, I will stop, guys, because it is, simply stated, it is like the key to my ocean that I love more than life itself. But it's helped me to love and to create self-love and to actually be sitting here with you right now.
Amazing. Whoa. Okay, so we've got Kundalini Yoga, we've got the Goddess Warrior makeup, and also a wonderful sacred goddess dance that you've spoken about. What an amazing trio of just beautiful practices, and also how they've beautifully touched your life, make them super duper special. So I would love to segue into a subject that can help us understand a little bit more about your humanity. Would you like to talk about maybe some of the challenges that you face and how you overcome them?
Sure. Wow. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm definitely human. So I've had so many challenges, guys. Name it, I've had it. You know, I'm on this path with you. You know, I'm on the spiritual path now, but I wasn't always. So my main challenges, currently, it's like knowing when to stop. You know, now that I've got a little drive, I've got a little fire, knowing when to contain some energy, knowing when to stop, knowing when to reserve, is something that I'm currently working on. It's not, you know, it's a good thing, actually. It's really great. But another thing that I'm consciously working on, that is super duper important to me in all of my relationships, is communication.
Mm-hmm.
And actually tomorrow morning, I'll be heading into Kundalini Yoga level 2 teacher training for conscious communication.
Wow.
So if I was to do this again in a month, it would be even more off the hook. Just kidding. So yeah, I've had a lot of challenges over my life. I've been challenged with addiction. Fear has been a big one. Fear of being seen has been really huge in my life and present. Social media, guys, has thrown me for a loop. I'm making friends now with social media. Overload, social media overload, you know, like in ways I'm seeing it as such a gift now coming into it, but it's been overwhelming. Technology in general, if Anthony ever watches this, he's gonna laugh, because technology and me are like oil and water, oil and water. It's crazy sauce, guys. But I am also improving all of these areas. And lastly, comparison and shame have been my challenges in my personal process. Yeah.
Got it.
So that's me on my challenges. I could probably go on, but that's a good start.
Okay, super. I'd love to give you some acknowledgement in talking about how you overcome some of your challenges, because I personally am a fan of your gratitude posts on Facebook. Would
Yeah.
you like to talk about that for a moment and how it's affected your life?
Oh my gosh, I was the greatest pleasure. I would like to talk about it. So, yeah, you know, coming from a background where my mind was conditioned in a certain way, in negativity. So I would see things and I would see mostly negativity. And it was a difficult place and a difficult path to have that experience. And so one day I was talking to my friend, shout out to Peter O'Connor. Love you.
Hey, Peter.
This was a couple of years ago too. He's been one of my rocks. You know, I was talking to him, processing some great stuff, and he was like, go into gratitude. I want you to do this. And then so I did that night, and it was amazing. All these things were lifted. It was as if my throat chakra opened. And the next day I might have had one of the most profound, beautiful, organically natural, beautiful experiences of my life. And then a couple months later, you know, I was doing some self-care. I was taking a bath because I was feeling really negative in my mind as well. And as I'm in the bath, I'm like, what to do? You ever feel stuck and just really feel like you don't know what to do with things, like, or where to go? So just started rambling off gratitude as I'm in the bath. And at this time I was in a really transitional, we'll say, place, and I wasn't sleeping well at nights, and I was having a difficult time. Slept solid, woke up, felt amazing. And when I woke up that morning and felt amazing, I think that was the day that I started like a gratitude challenge. I think I said 20 days to my friends. It was back in like, I guess 2016, something like that. And So I started doing gratitude. I threw out the challenge. Some of my friends jumped on board. And then I started just doing it consistently because I realized what this gratitude was doing was shifting my mind from seeing negativity to appreciating all of the beauty in my life, all of the things that I have, all in which I'm so blessed for. Not that my negative mind was like, it was just a conditioning even from childhood that I had to work through. It's been one of my most powerful tools to navigate back to my heart and quick. So that's
Awesome.
my gratitude.
Yeah.
Follow my gratitude, jump on board. I encourage you. It's a wicked, awesome, organic, natural, fierce source of heart connection.
Awesome. Okay. So I'd love to take that and to segue, because you've already mentioned so many wonderful tools that you use in your daily life, from the gratitude pose and the yoga. Would you like to tell us more about your daily practices and your daily routine?
Sure. So for me, I practice yoga and or meditation every day. Let's see where my notes are on this because this is really good.
I bet.
Some good stuff to give you guys. Okay. So I am a really dedicated Kundalini Yoga practitioner because I've seen the shifts in the way I feel, talk, think, process, and everything from showing up consistently for myself. Right now, actually today, I realized that I am on day 80 of a meditation, meaning I've done this meditation every day for 80 days. I've been doing it since December 17th. Soon after I started the meditation on December 17th, I had a vision to create this retreat. And this meditation is to build and balance the aspects and projections of a leader. So it was perfect time for me to take on this meditation. Really amazing. I don't know when I'm going to stop. I just leave it to whatever. But also I have other daily rituals too, besides Kundalini Yoga. I like to get up and have my coffee. And I like to sage. I like to sage my altars. And I like to light candles. And I do a little writing. I do praying. And I check in with my accountability team in the morning, people that are on board with doing meditations every day for Kundalini. And also now I've integrated with my fiance, Anthony, a couples meditation. A meditation where in the morning we check in with each other. We check in with our hearts. We check in with our commitments, our intentions, and what each other needs for the day. And that's been absolutely a beautiful new ritual that I'm integrating into our life. And it feels really, really good to have that little bit of time. Oh, and we definitely do gratitude in there for each other too. Those are my, yeah. Oh, wait. More. I have more. So I also, I definitely have a lot of inspiration. People are inspiring me left and right and always. I don't know where I would be without my teachers. Shout out. Betty Carr, my Kundalini teacher. I love her so much. I'll be with her tomorrow. Also, Kelly Kidder and Kai Corral. Love you guys. But so many teachers along the way. And actually, most people that I meet are teaching me something in some sort of way, whether I realize it or not. So I have a constant stream of inspiration that keeps me going, and I check in on a lot of my my sister goddesses pages. Shout out to Stephanie Bellinger, Spiritual Boss Babes, Cole Whitty, Warrior Women with a Purpose. Goddesses page from Mama Gina, Moon Sisters page that I'm kind of new to and just getting used to. So there's a lot of amazing women out there that are continuously inspiring me to, be more with our women, to come together in sacred circle. And I use a lot of different resources to continue my inspiration with Kundalini. A lot of different resources that I turn to with that. So, yeah.
Sweet.
About my rituals and inspirations.
Excellent, excellent. So you've mentioned a few times this Goddess Weekend that's coming up at the end of the month. Would you like to say more about that specifically? When is it?
Sure.
How can we find out more?
Yes. So I'm super excited to bring this event to you. It is at the end of March. It is in the last weekend of March. March 29th, 30th, and 31st. It will be hosted at my house in North Jersey, and so my intention is to bring women together in sacred circle, a safe place where we can come together to feel authentic, where we can come into our voice, where we could be heard, where we could be seen, where we could be uplifted, where we could share exactly who we are, maybe what we've been through, what we need support in going forward, and also to have a lot of goddess fun. It's super important. This has been a really amazing integrative experience for me to put together. I don't know about you, Facebook, you, Kai, and everybody else out there, if you've had, women have had a lot of difficulties with other women in terms of, sisterhood, betrayal, trust, all sorts of things, competition especially. So I feel it will be so beautiful to create a space to bring in collaboration, to bring in healing, to bring in acceptance, to bring in forgiving, and to bring up uplifting to each other. And recently I really connected with so many beautiful divine goddesses in my life that have inspired me so much and touched my heart so deeply that they've also really inspired me to bring women together. Because without their love, I couldn't experience what it actually feels like to connect with women so deeply, to feel that in your heart, to be seen. One of my sister goddesses, shout out, Vicky Boxer. She said something when we were just flying high on goddess vibes one night. We were just giddy, just loving each other up so hard. She was like, they're like coming together with women. There's like nothing we cannot do. And I was like, you're so right. You're so right. Like there is nothing we can do if we come together as like a, sister goddess tribe. So I really felt that. I've been moved by so many beautiful goddesses, sister goddesses. Big shout out to our Rydell, sister goddess, who assisted in healing my heart to create such sisterhood, and been such a driving force in my life. So yeah, what else about the retreat? Oh my gosh, so much great stuff. So much great stuff, guys. So we're going to have a nice, beautiful, deep focus on nutrition. So we have beautiful Dahlia Siobhan, shout out, doing our nutrition, talking about nutrition. She's going to do a food demo for us. But we're going to come together and we're going to look at food a little differently. We're going to come together, and before we eat, for each meal on this weekend, we're going to come together and pray about our food, having different sort of, and building reverence for the food. And this is with a lot of different things. I mentioned earlier that we'll be having intention when we dance. I bring in intention when I teach yoga all the time. So really having intentions and reverence for each thing. And as we go along with that, you know, learning how to build ritual in your everyday life helps to create sorts, bits of reverence for each step in what you're doing and what you're creating, so that you can be even more present for the experience of your own life. We're going to do a lot of celebrating, guys. We're going to do a lot of goddess uplifting, celebrating, hardcore dancing. Like I said, I curated a wicked playlist we're going to basically go on a roller coaster. We're going to start here, going to dip down a little bit, and then we're going to really go up. So that's going to be our dance, and I'm just super, super excited and ignited from it. And the Kundalini Yoga is going to be fit into really tapping into our Shakti energy.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're going to get deeper into our bodies. We're going to get deeper grounded. We're going to really be able to start feeling our circle and get deeper into our bodies to have that base and foundation to really shoot off very comfortably in our own skin into the dance, so that we can get most out of that sacred dance. We have you, doing our amazing tarot card readings. I am so thrilled and excited that you will be here celebrating with us and doing the readings. You know, it's so natural for you, and you really bring a layer of magic to it that I didn't even know was possible with the readings. Just magical and amazing. We also have our special amazing guest, Sasha Hosey.
Sasha, yeah.
Goddess. Wow, she really has a niche market expertise, creativity thing going on for herself. And I'm so excited that she's coming and is sharing her gifts and her goddessness and her goddess creations with us. What Sasha does is she creates like goddess beyond, guys. Goddess beyond headpieces.
Super talented.
super amazing. And she'll be offering them for us to photograph in, to play with, to adorn ourselves in. Also, she has them available for sale. She'll have a special little discount going for us, which is super awesome and sweet of her. So I'm so excited that she's coming as well. And that leads us to our photographer. Shout out, Mia! We'll be doing photography and videography for the whole weekend. I'm so blessed and excited to connect deeper with her. I've worked with Mia in a studio that we work a lot in Queens. Shout out Dirty Sugar, where I do a lot of headshot work, makeup and hair and stuff. And I love that team as well. They're amazing, great people. So we'll be working and blessed with her expertise so that we can also have pictures of ourselves in these really sacred moments to take along home with us and remember how not only we looked, but how we felt, what was happening, what was moving inside of us during these times where we felt completely safe, completely held, completely nourished by the divine feminine that we're all going to bring to the table. And am I missing anybody that I need to shout out? Because I love all my sister goddesses so much. I think that's it. We have our helpers too. Amazing goddess helpers, April Ford and Jackie Cox, who will be helping out the team, because as I realized when I was starting to build this retreat is that, ladies, it takes a village and men, it takes a village to build something like this. And I really, from the door, I knew I couldn't do it alone. And so when I talk about collaborating and not competing with other sister goddesses, I've been integrating it as I'm building this retreat. I'm learning exactly how to come together as a team, how to collaborate with sister goddesses, how to supply, to give I give to them as they give to me, and have it be such a beautiful give and receive type of, I don't want to say transaction, flow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Mm-hmm.
Totally. And I will be posting the link to your Facebook group above and below. So feel free to check it out. Lauren, do you want to say just a bit about that?
Yes. So I created a Facebook group for the event so we could start talking about it. What are we wearing? I don't even know yet, guys. But let's get excited about thinking about it. I started to post some really cool, fun, creative ideas in terms of makeup. Just to create buzz and excitement around maybe accessories that you want to bring, special scarves, special skirts to flow around in, whatever our beautiful, divine female hearts feel like being cute and sharing. It's really up to us, you know, to create that excitement and flow. So I'm excited also not only to create the excitement, but I know that a lot of sister goddesses are going to connect so beautifully during the event. We're not going to want to leave each other, you know? I'm not putting on an extra deck. My fiance has to come back home. You know, I want us to stay connected through this group, you know? Also, I don't want it to be the last retreat that we do. I want it to be the beginning of something super magical where we can bring, you know, say we're touched, we want to add something. Everybody's a part of it. Everybody gets to shine. Everybody that attends gets to shine and share who they are. And I really want to put a really strong and deep focus on that everybody gets to shine. It's not just about me creating my retreat. Yeah, that's great. But it's really about women getting comfortable to shine on their own and to be seen and to be uplifted, to be seen, to be supported. Because I myself, I told you I was nervous. I've had a really hard time being seen, and I have a lot of story and past with that as well with my process. But, you know, but with the encouragement of our sister goddesses, we could do anything. It's so amazing for it. So we're going to walk the runway too, guys. It's in the invite. It's going to be amazing. That's towards the celebration part. We're going to have a pink runway. We'll have some glitter. We'll throw it at each other's feet. Yeah. Also, you know, just to mimic about, go into the food a little bit, a very cleansing weekend. So, you know, there's no alcohol, there's no drugs and stuff like that. It's focused on nutrition, intention, reverence, and with the Kundalini Yoga being very purifying to the system, and the dance and the makeup and more dance, you know, and more yoga. We should be leaving here feeling super high vibrational, cleansed, and very connected, and hopefully very healed in our hearts with whatever we want to heal or transform.
Excellent. Excellent. So, wow, the time has gone by so fast. In our last few minutes here, would you like to let us know where we can find you, how we can get in touch with you, and any parting pieces of advice that you had for anyone out there listening?
Sure. So, you could find my website for all my traditional makeup stuff at laurenmaz.com. This is where I still freelance. I do weddings. I still am very in the makeup industry. Also, you could find me on Facebook. Also, our original goddess page is called The Goddess Rising. And on Instagram, I'm Lauren Maz, MUA for makeup artist, as well as Kundalini. We will in time merge the two, but the yoga is still the Kundalini, and then my makeup is a lot of like my makeup work and stuff like that. So, ouch.
Ouch. Thank you so much. This has been such a pleasure spending this time with you and getting to know about you and also this wonderful event at the end of the month. Again, anyone who's tuning in here, please feel free to click the link above or below, join the group, join the conversation, and join us at the event.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. And thank you to everyone who's listening tonight. Stay magical.